Hey everybody, welcome to My Green Pets. I'm William Green. I have good news. I took my Cattleya to judging this past Saturday, and this one won an award. It got a HCC, Highly Commended Certificate, and I could not be more excited. Finally, after raising these things from little seedlings, 7 years, get a little bit of what do you call it? Validation. So rewarding to have one of them awarded, and hopefully there's lots of siblings that have never bloomed, and some of them still working on their blooms for this year. So who knows? Maybe there will be more awards in the future. We will see. But for now, I have taken the pollen from this plant and put it into this plant. And I feel like this one is the form is still really nice. Flowers are nice and closed. And it's 4 flowers on the first bloom. So it seems like this is a pretty good plant. Why not go ahead and start breeding with the plant that now has an award? So that's exciting. This plant bloomed in May, and it has 2 sheaths, and I'm still hopeful. I'm still hopeful that little shadows are going to appear in the bottom of those sheaths, and we're going to get some more flowers, but who knows? The old sheath, of course, is already kind of wilted, and cut that off once it's all dry and crispy. But it is certainly rooting really nicely. I did give it a peroxide treatment to try to remove any snails that were in there, and it really seems to be responding because there are lots of new roots and I don't see any of them eaten off. It's a very good sign. Another plant that was kind of struggling with snails was this one, and I did the same thing. In fact, I gave this one 2 peroxide treatments. I also soaked it in Phizan 20, and it's definitely putting out new roots out of the new growth, and they look healthy. I don't see any little bite marks or chew marks on them, so that's great. Hopefully that plant is going to get some nice root growth and get rehydrated. It's pretty shriveled up right now. This Cattleya schilleriana, it's in pretty bad shape, but I still have hope. It's got new roots coming out at the bottom there, and I think just a couple new roots and some water, it will perk back up and survive. And also, speaking of rehydration, this is my Catasetum collection, these 3 plants, and I've really soaked the sphagnum in this one really well, and it has plumped back up. These bulbs that were really shriveled, they're all plump now, and the new growth has really taken off, really growing quickly now. Same for this one. This one's growing in synthic. It's holding moisture really well, and the new growth again really taken off. The back bulbs all plump again, so I'm excited about those. The little Cattleyas seedlings doing all right. Think conditions in the tent are quite a bit drier recently. The temperatures have been really warm outside, and I have just been kind of gently allowing that to happen. Instead of humidity being in the 60s and 70s, it's more like 40s and 50s right now, and I'm just kind of playing with that. I know that if it gets too low, like 40s is really too low, and you'll start to see root tips dying off at that time. But I'm just trying to find that balance of keeping the roots moist, but keeping the air a little dry so that I don't end up with rotting leaves and that kind of stuff. This Bulbophyllums, for example, I moved it over here to where the air is a little bit more, circulates a little bit more, because I noticed that some of the leaves were kind of getting water trapped in them, and then they were like turning, kind of shriveling up. So I want to make sure that the roots are hydrated, but I don't want water sitting in the leaves and causing problems. It's not looking as great as I would like. Let's see. Want nice strong new growths on those. So I'm going to give this a little more air, a little less water, and hopefully won't have any more incidents like that. This is another Bulbophyllums that's in a smaller pot, and you can see that the new growths are a little bit stronger, and I don't have any leaves coming off because it's just overall a little bit drier situation here. But yeah, the seedlings doing nicely. Seeing more roots on these Cattleya rositas. Super excited about those. This one really rooting well. Several new roots. Good sign. I hope it just colonizes that whole pot. Just has roots all over the place. Some of the larger seedlings here. Most all of them are putting out new growth, new growth, new growth, new growth, new growth down here. So looking good there. A little too dry is better than too wet. And it's funny because this is supposed to be the wet season, you know, but even so it's not the same when you're growing, especially in a tent like this. Too wet is never a good thing, even in the height of the growing season. It can be bad. We've got Phal hiding in here. Bulbophyllum he's opening up today. Looking nice, Phal. Got another flower here gonna open up soon. Cattleya maxima is looking super nice. Beautiful. Kind of hiding out down here. And I'm really hoping that these other two sheaths are going to be blooming this summer as well. Should be. My Phalaenopsis down here. The spike has started to form buds, so that's exciting. And I think it's in a position now where I can get it out if I need to. My Paphs are not doing great. I noticed that my Paphs, the leaves are turning black from the inside out. That's not good. Possibly that whole growth might be lost, maybe the whole plant. Also my Microcopuids. Look at that black, those leaves turning black, and also probably going to lose those growths. It's gotten hot in the tent, and I think that's the reason. When it gets too warm, they just start turning black. But I'm not going to do anything about it because honestly, at this point I just don't care. Bulbophyllum medusae, putting out a couple new growths. I've got it growing in rocks this year. It has started to root. And this year's growths don't look very big, but that's okay. It was really divided quite severely, so it might take a year to recover. That's fine. Might get a bloom or two out of it this year, who knows. I sent samples of this Bulbophyllum to the pathology lab 2 weeks ago now, so I have not heard anything from them. I hope they're not in some kind of summer vacation mode and my package is sitting in a mailbox. But yeah, I'm gonna get in touch with them this week, see if I can get some answers from them. So yeah, this is my TV. When I lay on the couch, this is what I see if I open up the tent. Not too bad, huh? Alright, let's go look in the window and see what's going on over there. Phalaenopsis schilleriana. It is, I don't know, it's got little looks like little spore thingies on those roots. It doesn't look great. I'm thinking I might put this in a package and send it to the pathology lab as well, but I think this plant is pretty much done. I don't see it recovering at this point. I hoped it would, but I don't think it's going to. It's just too overcome by whatever is in there. But next door, check this beauty out. Clivia miniata is looking fantastic this year. This plant blooms in February and June for me. Has for the past 3 years. And I got some really good recommendations from people here on YouTube as well as people on Instagram on how to grow these. Last year it was half that size, did not look nearly as good. And so what I did was I repotted it into orchid bark. So a really, really loose medium that dries out quickly. And then I just started fertilizing it more regularly. I fertilize it like I fertilize my orchids, so just a very small amount of fertilizer with every watering. I make sure I flush the medium really well, get it really good and damp, and then I drain it, let it drain, and then I don't water it again until it's almost completely dry. And I can tell by just lifting up on the pot. You know, it's a big pot, but when it's completely dry, it's very light. Right now it's pretty heavy, so it won't get watered for a while. And I also drilled holes in the pot to just add air circulation around the roots. And it seems to have worked pretty well. I mean, I'm happy with that. Beautiful head of flowers on it this year. Beautiful orange flowers. I believe this is a relative of the Hippeastrum or amaryllis. Gorgeous. Look at that. Love it. Okay guys, that is all for this week. Thank you for joining My Green Pets. I'm William Green, and we will see you next time. Have a nice week. Happy growing. Bye.